So I was tagged to do this video by Tyler from the channel Simply Fragrances. I'm gonna leave his information down below. These are 10 fragrances that I have in my collection that are in some way, shape, or form synonymous with my channel. So this is the Synonymous tag. I'm excited to tell you about these 10 fragrances and let you know why and in what capacity they are synonymous with my channel. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video, this Synonymous tag video of 10 fragrances in my collection that are synonymous with my channel to some capacity, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like top lists just like this, but also reviews, giveaways, unboxings, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. It would mean so much for me. And also, while you're at it, make sure to leave a like down below for the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate that. So these are all fragrances that have had some sort of influence on me and of course subsequently my channel, and I'm just gonna go ahead and dive into it. Tyler, thank you for the tag. The first fragrance that I want to talk about is obviously the fragrance that I've spoken about on my channel so many times already. I actually just did a video where I mentioned this, which is why I'm kind of chuckling here. But this was actually the very first fragrance that I ever reviewed on my channel. I think I reviewed it on June 5th, 2012. It's crazy how I remember the date. But this one by Prada is called Infusion Dome. Of course, now it's known by the name Infusion d'Iris Cedra. Amazing iris-based fragrance. You have some incensey aspects in here as well. You have a little bit of the neroli. It smells very clean. It really smells like a hotel bar of soap, like a very luxurious bar of soap. One of my favorite fragrances to spray on once I get out of the shower. Unfortunately, I am all out of my bottle. I would love to purchase another one in the very near future, so I may have to either purchase it online or take a trip to Saks or something like that. But this one is synonymous with my channel because it's the first fragrance that I ever reviewed on my channel. The next fragrance on this list is actually the fragrance in my most viewed fragrance review. And I did my review of this fragrance many years ago when this fragrance first came out, and I really enjoyed it at the time. I'm still enjoying it now. This one by the company Versace is called Versace Eros. Now, the one that you see here is the Eau de Parfum. Just ignore that. I'm talking about the Eau de Toilette. And the reason being is I was looking for my Eau de Toilette. I had a hard time finding it. Didn't want to waste any more time. So Versace Eros, tonka bean, mint, vanilla. You know all about this fragrance, right? So I did my review on it, and of course I have a Greek heritage, and so I'm like 70% Greek. So I was talking about Eros and what it means and the different types of love, and it was like a 20-minute review. You don't have to watch it. I'm gonna leave a card to it up here if you're interested, but it was many, many years ago. I look a little different as well. But this is also synonymous with my channel for that reason. The next fragrance, maybe it is synonymous with my channel, maybe it isn't. But this fragrance I actually selected because it was one of the first designer fragrances that really opened up my eyes and my nostrils, if you will, to the more artistic takes on fragrances. And so in a world where, you know, maybe everybody was wearing Egoist and Bleu de Chanel and Acqua di Gio and a lot of other fresh fragrances, when I smelled this one, I was like, oh, this is more my style, I think. And obviously I did a review on it some time ago and I praised it in my review. This one by the company Thierry Mugler is the original Amen. This fragrance was composed in the mid-90s by Jacques Couklier, and then you have the caramel, the ethyl maltol, the patchouli, the vanilla, the spices. Awesome fragrance. Some people aren't a big fan of it because it's a little bit dark, and some people say it has this tar note in there. I love it. It's one of my favorites. The next fragrance that I want to talk about is one where I don't have the bottle on hand. I actually have it in a separate location where I also shoot videos, and it's Interlude Man by Amouage. I love that fragrance. It's one of my favorite fragrances. I purchased it at full retail when it came out, $300+ if you include tax. And some people might remember a video where I did like 30 something sprays of Interlude Man. I think it was like 36 sprays. And then I went out in public and I filmed that myself, getting people's reactions. People were actually really nice. They were really polite. They didn't react the way that I thought that they were gonna react. All of my friends that I was hanging out with at that on that day, they all said, yeah, I can smell it on you. But for some reason, people around me were very polite. People also criticized me because I wore a really heavy jacket on that day. Go figure. It was cold outside. The next fragrance that is kind of synonymous with my channel is Creed Aventus. And I know I've mentioned this before. I wore this on my wedding day. I wore it all throughout my honeymoon. I even had an Aventus wedding cake. I had two wedding cakes, the real one, and then one that was just kind of like a joke, if you will, and it was in the shape of Creed Aventus. And so I love this fragrance. I've gone through maybe like 7 or 8 bottles in my lifetime. So this fragrance is certainly synonymous with my channel. Another fragrance that I think is synonymous with my channel is the first perfume project, if you will, that I embarked on, where I was a creative director, and it was an amazing opportunity. Got a chance to go to Paris, France, met up with one of my favorite perfumers, who is Bertrand Duchaufour, and a fragrance that I worked on is Absolutio by Navitus Parfums. It's an amazing gourmand in my opinion. I read the note breakdown and the brief on camera. This one has cherry, almond, caramel, toffee, ambergris, oak moss. It's an amazing fragrance. I absolutely love this one. Absolutio by Navitus Parfums. I still wear it a lot, and obviously this is my second bottle of it. The next fragrance is a fragrance that whenever I do a list of this house, this is usually the one that comes in the #1 spot, unless it's like a summer themed list or something like that. But this is my favorite offering from this company by Inicio Parfum Privé. This one is Side Effect. Boozy, you have the rum in here, the tonka bean, the cinnamon, the vanilla, the hedione. It's just an amazing fragrance, and my favorite from this company. I also really like Rehab. Atomic Rose is amazing. Musk Therapy is very good. Oud for Greatness is an awesome fragrance. I think it's 50 cents signature scent, if I'm not mistaken, but Side Effect is my favorite from the brand. Love wearing it, especially in the colder weather. Now, the next fragrance is synonymous with my channel because last year in 2020, I did a video where I said this was my best discovery of 2020, even though the fragrance didn't come out in 2020. This one by the company BDK Parfum is called Rouge Smoking. Awesome fragrance. Cherry, vanilla, heliotrope, spicy, a little floral. Great fragrance. I've done a review on it, so if you're interested in checking it out, I'll also leave a card up here if I remember. The next fragrance might be synonymous with my channel because last year I did my top 10. It was either a top 10 or a top 20 favorite niche fragrances for the summer of 2020. And just like that, the year went by and we're almost in the summer of 2021. And this fragrance was actually in the #1 spot. This fragrance by Rouge Parfums is called Elysium. This is not an oceanic fragrance. It doesn't contain K-Lone, so it's not an aquatic, but it has this bright, fresh, effervescent opening cocktail of citrus, these really clean and pristine white floral notes. It's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. I wear it all the time. I've actually put a bit of a dent in it, and 2 or 3 sprays will actually last you the whole day, and I've worn about maybe 10 mLs of it so far. And the fragrance in the #1 spot is a fragrance that I've mentioned on my channel many, many times. I've reviewed it. I've done comparison videos. I'm always talking about how I bought it the day it came out. It was kind of like my first blind buy, if you look at it like that. And it's a fragrance that I absolutely love, and I have purchased pretty much all of the flankers that they've come out with since then. And it's one that I still wear, although a little bit sparingly because I have the vintage formulation. This one by Viktor and Rolf is called Spice Bomb. This is the original Spice Bomb. Amazing fragrance by Olivier Polge. It's also one of those fragrances that kind of opened up my eyes and made me understand that I really love the compositions of Olivier Polge, which of course led to me purchasing many others and exploring many others. And that's when I realized that he, along with, Chris Maurice and Bertrand Duchaufour and Annick Minardo, these are some of my favorite perfumers of all time. Cécile Zarokian being another one too. So in any case, these have been 10 fragrances in my collection that I think are synonymous with my channel to some capacity. If you enjoyed this video, which I really hope you did, leave a like down below. I would really appreciate that. Also, if you took something of value from this video, please make sure to support this channel by subscribing to it. It would mean so much to me. And also, if you want to just drop a comment down below and let me know what are some of your favorite fragrances, I would really appreciate that. I always love interacting with my subscribers. Thanks again for watching. Love you all, and we'll see you soon. Bye.